Hello and happy new year to you. This is Yadita Span, and I am excited to be here with you today. It's a new year. And if you look at the subject that I put up, Happy New Year, Happy New You, Happy New You. The topic that I want to talk to you about is give yourself permission not to respond. But I also want to give yourself permission to do other things. Why do I say give yourself permission not to respond? Because for a lot of people in the past few years, you have felt that you needed to respond to almost everything that people said or that people did. And even the fact that there were times when you felt like you had to speak from a place of having to let people know, I have to tell them, I have to give them the deeds. You don't have to do that anymore. You have to be in a space where you are empowered. I don't want you speaking from a place where people are trying to find out information. And it's almost like you're in this place where you feel like you're a victim instead of empowered. Empowerment tells you, I can say what I want to say. I want to speak. I want to tell my story at the time I want to tell it. And I want to share it with who I want to share it with. That's when you're empowered. When you feel more like a victim, it's almost like, what happened? I heard this. And the person is just more so trying to get information, not to really help you, but from a different space. But it's your story, it's what happened to you. So you have to be able to hold, why do I want to put this? It's almost like you have the possession of the key and the microphone. You see my microphone right here? It belongs to you. You get to choose. But as we start off this new year, and I know many people started off the new year, I'd say in September, I think November for those people who follow the Hebraic calendar. I want to say this to you. There are other things that you must give yourself permission to do. Number one, I'm going to start off with you have to give yourself permission to heal. That is a must. I was thinking, and I've been thinking about social media, thinking about the message that God has given to me, along with the businesses that I am to steward over. And I know that there was a shift, and I know that for some of you, maybe you felt it too, that you were doing things this way, but there was something, a passion, almost a flame deep on the inside of your heart, and you knew that you needed to change because there were people who were waiting for you to show up authentically, unapologetically, and bravely with the message, with the story that you were supposed to be running with in this season. It's not a story like anyone else's. And why is that? Because what you have gone through in this life, your journey, that wilderness season, the place where you were in the school of learning, and one of your classes that you had to take was Faith 101, or maybe you had to take Forgiveness 202, or maybe you had to take Give Yourself Permission 303. And in these classes, you were learning things, you were meeting people along the way. And yet there were things that were being taken from you. Some of those you know what I mean? Part of the personality and things that you felt that you needed because it was building up a wall. I'm safe in here. I love to talk about the caterpillar in my book, Don't Give Up, where it got into that chrysalis and it was excited. Finally, no one can step on me. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about anyone coming in and the outside elements trying to bother me anymore. But after being in that lonely space, in that space of seclusion and isolation for too long, that caterpillar starts to say, wow, no one can get in, but neither can I get out. But here's the kicker, there was an appointed time for the caterpillar to come through the chrysalis, an appointed time. There's an appointed time for you too. But there are some things that you're going to have to do in that place, in that secret place with God, in that space where you are literally saying, change me, help me, fix me. I don't want to be like this anymore. If truth be told, sometimes people will say things to you like, I don't know if I believe that story. I don't know if I can believe that, but they don't understand that you don't believe it either. And because for many of you, that thing that you went through was so heightened, you have literally been in this space where it's fight or flight for years. Who can I trust? Maybe I shouldn't trust anybody. And I want you to choose to get out of that space, to choose to say, this is not how I'm going to live as a healed person. And healing is a process and a journey. It doesn't just happen like that unless the Lord just says, like the woman with the issue of blood, you have so much faith and you just go and you touch him differently than everybody else who is around him. And he does it. But a lot of times, mm-mm, he'll allow you to walk through the process. He'll allow you to walk through that journey, through that season, so that you can see some things about yourself. It's almost like being in that mirror and saying, do I still want to show up? Do I still want this unforgiveness? Give yourself permission to forgive. Amazing things happen in your life when you choose to forgive. A lot of times we don't realize that we're walking around with a heavy weight, and that weight has become a part of our personality, and we accept it as such simply because we don't believe or we don't expect that there's anything else. Like, is there anything else besides feeling this way? And the truth of the matter is, yes, there is. There absolutely is. But it takes a decision to say, I don't want to feel like this anymore. Maybe you don't know what that feeling is. Maybe you don't realize that you've been walking around holding on to unforgiveness and harboring offenses because what they did was wrong. That is true. But it's not for you or for me to be the ones who try to fix it all the time. It's not for you or to me to hold on to bitterness, because if I act like I'm okay, then they're going to think it's okay for them to do this or that. Listen, it's time to let go. You have to choose the same way that you choose not to speak about certain things to certain people. You have to choose to heal and choose to forgive and choose to release and choose to let go and choose to say that I can be so much more than what I've been allowing myself to be. It's a new day. It's a new year. So happy new you. Make the right choice. My alarm's going off there. Make the right choice to choose to show up differently. It starts with you. It starts with God. Now, what will you do? Talk to you very soon.